All right. Thanks for joining us, Coach Davis. Joshua, go ahead first.
Hey, Coach. I mean, obviously, 62 points in the first half is really impressive, but the defense was more impressive to me, holding them to 24 points. They didn't score in double digits the first 10, 11 minutes of the game. Can you speak about your defensive intensity out of the gates?
No, I thought it was great. I've said this before, we have identified our recipe for success, and the first thing is to get after it on the defensive end. The second thing is to rebound the basketball on both ends of the floor, so limit teams to one shot every possession, and on the offensive end, get second chance opportunities by crashing the offensive glass. And then the third thing, which is has played a big part in how we have played defense, is taking care of the basketball. And against Florida State, who is terrific defensively, their length and their athleticism, they're always creating turnovers, and they do a really good job of converting those turnovers. We really needed to be good in those three areas, and in the first half, we nearly did those things perfectly. And so I was really proud of the way that they played defensively in the first half, and it just confirms and continues to show me that I think we can be a really good defensive team.
Andrew Jones.
Hey, Coach, Caleb said a little bit ago that short memory is a key for the team moving on from what transpired against Duke last week, winning the tough game at Clemson and coming out clicking all cylinders today. Is short memory something that you've had to kind of foster yourself in the program? And if so, have the kids kind of adopted it to where you don't need to as much now? It's becoming part of who they are?
Well, I think you guys are starting to learn more about me. I'm positive. I like being positive.
Yeah.
I'm not, there's so many ways and it's so very easy to be negative about anything. I'm very positive. And so, even though that we didn't play well last week, the positive thing is we had an opportunity to go to Clemson on the road against a really good Clemson team and compete and have a chance to win. We're able to do that. And then we had a chance today to play against a really good Florida State team at home, and we did that. And throughout the year, one of the things, many things that I'm so proud of our guys is when we get knocked down, we always get back up. And so when we had that tough stretch at the beginning of the year at Connecticut, we bounced back. When we had that tough week against Miami and Wake Forest, we came back and won 4 straight. And then we had a disappointing outcome against Duke just last week, and what was on the plate was for us to come and compete against 2 really, really good teams, and we did that. And so I'm positive. I like to look at things from a positive standpoint, and I'm really proud of our guys throughout the entire season that they've been willing to get back up and compete and fight.
Thank you.
CL Brown.
Hey, Hubert, you guys had a season high 22 assists, and that comes after Clemson. I think it ties the highest 2-game total, 39 assists. Are there things you guys are doing differently to, that are just more conducive to sharing the ball, or is it just, it's just kind of the teams you're playing against? It was more beneficial to be whipping the ball around. Like what's the key to the ball movement you guys are getting?
Well, we've talked about this, CL, a lot, and that on both ends of the floor, but specifically from an offensive standpoint, we have talked about we have to be able to do this together. It can't be one person. It can't be one-on-one. We have to do this together. And if we share the ball and we do this together, everybody benefits. One of the things that we talk about every day is spacing, balance, and a combination of player movement and ball movement. And if we continue to do that with our ability to be able to shoot the basketball and Armando finishing around the rim and Leaky his ability to drive and distribute, like it puts a lot of pressure on teams. And so it's something that we've talked about, but CL, I really believe that more and more, I think the guys are believing and understanding and trusting from an offensive standpoint of doing this together and how that plays a part in our success on the offensive end. And I think they're seeing the benefit of it. You know, with Caleb's assist against Clemson, he sees the benefit of it. So then he comes back in this game and he has 6 assists. RJ, the last 2 games, has 11 assists and 1 turnover. And so he's seeing, look at the benefit, not only in my scoring, but I'm getting everybody else involved. And it's just, it just bleeds to teammates and just continues to share the basketball. And it's a part that we've talked about a lot. And it's a part that's, when we do it, we're very efficient on the offensive end.
Brendan March, go ahead.
Hey, Hubert, you guys got some really solid bench production today. And I know in an ideal world, you would rather have Anthony and Dawson in the fold, but RJ mentioned how guys are, really leaning into their roles and making the most of them now. Do you get a sense of that too? And how much growth have your guys shown in that area, today and the past couple of weeks?
I do. No, I think, one of the things that I always tell the guys is with me, you always get a chance and you always get an opportunity. Plain and simple, period, the end. What I can't tell you is when, where, how, and the manner in which you'll get that opportunity, but you will get a chance and an opportunity. And I tell them that when you get that chance and when you get that opportunity, the only thing that you're responsible for is for you to be ready. And I really feel like Dontrez, Kerwin, Puff, Justin, and DeMarco, every time that I have given them a chance and an opportunity, they have stepped up to the challenge, and all 5 of them did that today. Dontrez's athleticism, his energy on both ends of the floor was very impressive. Kerwin, his ability to shoot the basketball, he seemed like he was in real good rhythm. Puff never stops playing hard, and his energy and his effort just bleeds down to everybody on the team. And Justin and DeMarco played well also. And so being able to have guys come off the bench and contribute on both ends of the floor is huge for us because it gives rest to our starters that have played big minutes for pretty much the entire season.
Patrick Welter, go ahead.
Coach, 38-point halftime lead, the biggest ever in an ACC game at the Smith Center. We just heard that stat. You hear that, what do you think?
I hear that Florida State scored 50 in the second half, and we scored 32. It doesn't mean anything to me at all. I just, at halftime, I spoke to the team and I said it's 0-0. This is an opportunity to get better and consistently work on good habits on both ends of the floor. It's not a time to take a deep breath. It's not a time to relax. It's not a time to stop doing the things that allowed us to be successful in the first half. And at times we didn't take care of the basketball. We didn't play defense like we did in the first half. But overall, I'm really proud of them.
Royal Howe.
Hey, Coach. Today your team probably might have exhibited the best play on both ends of the floor. Your team got out in primary and secondary break. It just seems, in my opinion, UNC is just one of the best teams in the country when you can get out and run the transition break. Is that something that you've been wanting to get your offense going? Is basically the transition game, primary, secondary break, heading to Pittsburgh coming up, or what's just your mentality overall running the fast break?
I do. I think we're one of the better teams in the country in transition. I do. With having 2 primary ball handlers with RJ and Caleb, also actually 3 with Leaky, pushing the ball up the floor, running the lanes, wide wings, and our bigs running down the middle of the floor. We do a really good job of setting random drag screens to give our guards an angle so they can get downhill and get to the basket, but also our ability to be able to shoot the ball gives us that space and that balance. And so, from an offensive standpoint, I think we've been, all things considered, I think we've been consistent there. But one of the things that I tell the team all the time, we can't get out in transition unless we get some stops. And so it starts at the defensive end. And then us being able to rebound the basketball, which we're one of the better teams in the country in terms of defensive rebounding. And that allows us to get out in transition where I feel like we're really, really good.
Thanks, Coach.
Lucas, go ahead.
Coach, on that one sequence where Caleb picked the pass, missed the windmill, but then he came back on the next possession and then hit that three. I mean, can you take me through your emotions and your reactions through that sequence?
Well, you know, Caleb missed the dunk, and then you missed something on that. They came down and hit a three. And then it came back, and Caleb made the three. And, you know, I didn't want Caleb to miss the dunk, and I know he didn't want to miss the dunk. But all seriousness, that's one of the many things that I love about Caleb is that he can bounce back. You know, he can move to the next play, next possession, next shot. And so, yes, him missing the dunk because he was trying to do something extra and special, and then it led to them hitting a three-pointer on the other end. He came back and made a play, made a positive play. And so that's Caleb, and that's what he did against Clemson. You know, there were some times where he had turnovers, but then he hit the big three to put us up, and then he made the play to Brady for the win when he drove to the basket. And so that's Caleb. His ability to bounce back and move to the next possession, the next play, is something that a lot of players don't have. And he has that, and that's a really good trait as a basketball player to have.
Riley, go ahead.
Hey, Coach Davis, your team forced 9 turnovers today in the first half. I thought the ball pressure looked great today, denying passes on the perimeter especially. Just wanted to ask what led to that change either in style or that change in execution that netted all those turnovers today?
Well, I think we were, you know, especially in the first half, just defensively, it wasn't necessarily on the ball, but it was how connected and how together we were defensively as a team. You know, we just didn't allow them to get in the paint, whether it's one-on-one, post play, ball screen action. It was very difficult for them to be able to get to the paint. And that's something that we've identified that in our losses, you know, the teams have consistently scored in the paint. And that's an area that we have to be better at keeping teams out and being able to contest threes. And so I think, you know, our help side defenders, our positioning to keep them out of the lane put us in positions to get steals and get deflections, and that allowed another way for us to get out in transition. And I kept telling the team, I said, don't be fooled. The reason why we're having success on the offensive end is because we're playing great defense, and that's what I believe.
Thank you,
The
Coach.
last one, Michael Coe, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, it feels weird that we've gotten this far in and we haven't talked about Armando once. I mean, 17 points, 14 rebounds. Can you talk about him having that kind of performance against a really big Florida State front court with 3 7-footers?
Well, you know, one of the things that I told the guys at halftime, and I say this to them all the time, I said, this isn't an Armando Bacot rebounding game. This is a North Carolina rebounding game. And he's just, you know, statistically, the numbers that he is putting up just you haven't seen this here in a very long time. For him to be second in the league in scoring and to lead the league in rebounding, he's just having an unbelievable year. A lot of times when I see him play, I look back at the hard work and the commitment of him in the offseason. I remember when he decided to come back to school here and not to pursue to go to the NBA, and I remember all the individual workouts and the talks and the things that, you know, for the upcoming season, his personal goals of where he wanted to be and what he wanted to do. And to see him be able to live out and experience those hopes and those dreams he had for the upcoming season and what he's done this season, it's just been really fun to watch. I think as a coach, one of the best things is having a front row seat and watching the kids be successful. And so that's what I get every day, whether it's in practice in the game. I get a front row seat to see all the hard work and the effort that Armando has put in and allow it to come out this season. He's having a terrific year, and I personally think he's ACC Player of the Year. He's been that good and that consistent.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, everybody. Thanks, Coach Davis.